Wait, we're on? Okay, good. I'm doing another one of these episodes. Don't ask about this. Wait, right. I kinda had no idea of what I was doing coming into this one, so don't laugh at me if it was bad. Hello there. I am the one known as the Collector. I've had a viewing of myself already, so you should know who I am. But, for those who don't, my ability is simple. I can take living creatures and collect them, putting them inside of my book. My book's main function is So, I'm here to just talk about a few of my favorite creatures while I murder some of these demons. An intriguing one indeed. Known as the armor demons. Don't know why. Their carapace isn't that strong. But for a human's bullets, those things are wimpy compared to it. So, my favorite way are these interesting little slimes from 443. They're super interesting. As if in danger, they spike up like a pufferfish. I think that's what you call them. Pufferfish, from what I've heard, have toxins in them. But no, this is full-on metal spikes coming from the human body. That would be dangerous, but what do I mean by this? Well, you see, these monsters try to become eaten most of the time, when I use them, of course. Normally, they try to keep themselves safe, while if damaged by any sort or means, they will spike up. Of course, it's not too bad compared to what happens when they get eaten by a human being, or a demon. You see, humans and demons have bodily acid, and just by taking one of these slimes and eating it, it will activate their main function. Of course, that would mean they'd die due to the combustion of spikes. But don't worry, we are here to kill the demons, not the humans. So, with the thousands of demons, so what if a few hundred die? Well, except for the fact some of them are pretty annoying. Most, while being able to be easily murdered by this substance, some have long-ranged artillery, like fireballs. Seems like the main weapon. But, no matter. As the Collector, these slimes are just one of my many murder devices. I have thousands more. So, let's look. Oh. Here's one of my favorite. You see, I collected a two-headed hellhound. Sounds crazy, because it kinda looks crazy. You see, this comes from the first floor of hell. More or less like Cerberus and most other hellhounds of this nature. They live on the first level, and are more or less directors. But now in combat, they are devastating. Before, they were more or less supervising the first level, and maybe a few levels below such. But they were more or less supervisors to the levels, and only fight once they get past level 10, and after that they become monstrous beyond comparison. But oh gosh, for the first few levels, be ready to be burnt to ash, as just being there will heat you to magnificent levels of depth and death. Now, from my experience, it's not too hot, but for a human, it very much is. Now on the other end, for these monsters, oh, The flames of their jaws are enough to even melt their carapace. Yes, melting their carapace is very easy. You see, compared to a dragon, they spew this magma-like fluid from their mouth, allowing one to burn someone else. But here's the interesting thing about this magma fluid. It isn't made of metal or stone of any type. When cooled, it doesn't become basalt or stones of any kind. It disappears, probably meaning it has no true physical matter, but is a very high reaction of sorts. So high that instead of becoming a plasma, it is a liquid. Very intriguing indeed. Makes me want to learn about liquid nitrogen. A very cool substance indeed. Get the pun? But to be more realistic, I would rather learn about liquid hydrogen. Hydrogen, one of the highest elements on this planet, intriguing, or highest element in this universe. Did you know that this world is the only world with life? Well, for now. Seemingly, this world has been condensed with the amount of life of the entire domain. Now, for a little history lesson. Demons and humans alike come from an interesting domain. Our domain, in fact, is known as the domain of hell. This is the reason why killing God has created so many fallen angels. An interesting fact, fallen angels have a new special power known as fire. An intriguing strength indeed, but nothing that can't easily be defeated by just being a demon. Now, on the other hand, these demons I'm fighting aren't too strong, so I won't really need the use of any more hellhounds, nor the use of my scientific mind. But I do feel the need for speed. Get the joke? But in reality, the actual need here is the reason why there are so many demons, yet their forces haven't weakened by any source. I believe that is due to their commander. Now, to be honest, this commander, nothing. I can easily defeat it. If I was strong enough. Not gonna lie, myself very wimpy. My ability and my creatures are my strength. But actually starting to collect, I don't know, a few months ago, I don't have many creatures to murder people with. Now, murdering these simple demons here, not a problem. Murdering this knight, or should I say a shadow, very annoying. I have learned some interesting things about shadows, though. While being an interesting source of life, they must have a form of armor, or they're as vulnerable as any other shapeshift demon. They aren't shapeshift demons themselves. They do very much act as such. I'm not gonna lie, shapeshift demons aren't that powerful. But I do feel the power of this demon is annoying. Let me tell you why. First off, his abilities. He has multiple. Seemingly shouldn't be possible other than the fact we're dealing with a person from the 40th level of hell. You see, normally, I would be completely fine with a simple demon. A sinner, on the other hand, now I'm scared. Sinners are an offspring of sorts. When a human dies in your world, they come down to ours, or up to heaven. When they're in hell, they are known as a sinner. when a sinner has spent a certain amount of time in hell, they go to heaven. Certain sinners may last full-on billions or trillions of years in hell. The feeling of a sinner who's gone from the lowest level of hell to their forces, their power is feared. There are two things that make sinners dangerous. One, their ability to have multiple abilities. This is annoying, as when someone dies and gets revived, their ability multiplies. Normally, this wouldn't be a trouble, other than the fact that multiple abilities is bad. You see, just having one or two abilities, I can deal with that. You can deal with that. Because they're either their normal ability or their specific ability. You only have to evolve to one specific ability. But when it comes to these sinners, you'll have to evolve to two or even more if their ability applies for it. Now, demons have the upper hand of having a natural ability. Like shapeshift demons, their ability to shapeshift is their natural power, making them fairly annoying to deal with. But collecting them in my book allows me to have almost any demon of my desire at my fingertips. Now, evolving for their main ability, or their secondary ability, an ability they only get when they're in their true form. Evolving for those, really simple, but evolving for the abilities of a sinner, very annoying. I've lost track of how many times I've been nearly killed by a sinner on the battlefield by this point. I've been trying to strengthen myself, but they've just been stronger and stronger. Now, I don't think our leader is incompetent, but there is some reason why he is sending me on these harsh missions. Maybe it's to get more of these shapeshift demons, but probably for something else. Now, I had the idea of using two of these, but I learned from something that I can only have one up at a time, so I'm just gonna do this. Yep. Second video, I think this is the correct one, right? Just gonna show you a sneak peek. Okay. Sorry for the quick talking. I have a lot of energy. It's the morning when I'm posting this, right? I'm not gonna wait an entire 5 hours to post this after I make it. No. Just some design choices. The face will change, but I still think it's gonna be really derpy. I actually gave this a really cool title. The Knight vs. Beast. Awesome title. I probably should title this the exact same thing. Oh, I just noticed I'm not on full screen. Don't notice that. So let's get back into this character's power arc. Well, I didn't think this would come to this, but our leader has now joined us. Now, that would normally not be a bad thing, other than the fact we're up against a person with two abilities. I've already told you why I hate dual abilities due to the annoyance of evolution that they go through. But here's the real annoying thing. This knight has killed my precious beastie. You see, I was experimenting with my power, and it has a secondary effect. This effect is really powerful in the fact that I can double the strength, or, sorry, not double the strength, but quadruple it by combining two creatures of a very powerful strength. Now, what do I mean by this? Take my two-headed hellhound, for example. His dual-headedness is a very powerful aspect, as Hellhound's spewing ability is powerful indeed. But one of my most annoying things to gain is a Cerberus. Now, from Greek mythology, Cerberus is is the guardian to the gates of hell, but it is what we call a 3 or more headed hellhound, because the only place they come out is the first level of hell. This mutation must be due to the nightmare fuel that is the first level of hell. Now, of course, the nightmare fuel of the levels of hell are dangerous. Once you get to the 10th, that's torture, but it's not fear. And fear is what a hellhound grasps. The torture and the pain is great and all, but a hellhound wants more. Now, saying a hellhound like the Cerberus are dangerous is an understatement. I have fought a Cerberus once. It almost killed me. Twice before I could capture it. Now, I would normally be kind of fine with that. I'm pretty weak still. A few improvements by being humbled isn't something new to me, but this beastie is just a 3-headed dog. Why the heck is it so dangerous? But once I captured it, it's become one of my favorites. And by fusing it with the 2-headed hellhound, I've finally done it. I've created a hellhuman. Basically, by taking a sprinkle of demon into it, don't ask me which one, I've been able to turn the hellhound into a powerhouse. Now, saying he's powerful is an understatement. This person is dangerous with a capital D-A-N-G-E-R. I don't get the human language that well. And wait, that's not the human's language? That's just English? Why do they have so many languages? We have demonic, and they have English, French, German. What the heck? Asia has how many languages? And they have different ways of writing them? 3 different ways for one language. You know what? I'm not gonna care about that. But, back to the real aspect. Why did the leader come in here? Well, probably because my hellhound nearly died. Twice. Or sorry, 5 times. I had to return to the book multiple times for it to heal. And because of this, I lost a lot of slimes trying to block him in the process so they could heal. Now, this would normally not be too big of a problem, as I could just collect tons of more slimes. Those things regenerate super easily. Due to their cloning aspect, I have 1, and then I have 20. It's great. I get infinite for the price of 1. Now, they aren't too easy to get, as they really are somehow really fast runners. How have you seen their hopping skills? They hop faster than a bunny rabbit in a horse car show of a... You know what? I'm gonna be done with the references here. But, get the point? Very fast. And I exhausted my entire plethora of them. I had 50 to start. Then I only had 5. Now, that wouldn't be so bad, except for the fact those 5 were used up as well. Seriously, what does it take to defeat this guy? I know he has 2 abilities, but when I was talking about that, I didn't think that he was that dangerous. Like, 2 abilities, yeah, I fought a sinner before. Very dangerous indeed. But what the heck? My name is Holder. I am also the one who goes by the name of Knight. My anger is fueled by the hell sinners. We the sinners. No, not a sinner, but the demons have had to go through torture and torture just because of our leader. But then the demon lord freed us, and our anger could run wild on the heavens and the earth. We could finally create an apocalypse. Our anger ran rapid. The feeling of the kill. Humans, so weak. I feel sorry that they think they're so strong. My abilities include wind manipulation, or should I say barrier manipulation. In a certain range around me, I can manipulate the wind. While this sounds powerful, it can only allow me to create certain barrier levels. While barriers are fairly powerful, I can't use color or sound through them, meaning I can't control much, but this does allow anyone near me to choke themselves to death. Now it does seem narcissistic to have my face on my shield, but this armor wasn't mine before this, so whoever had it was the narcissist, and the rich guy. The amount of gems on that armor was powerful indeed. My second ability was born from me being a mutant. You see, I'm no ordinary shadow. I have taken the form of many of suits, but not once have I taken one with such power that it evolved my species entirely, or the species that I am. Now, to be blunt, I am powerful, but not too powerful. The main aspect of my power comes from my ability to, more or less, control the power of my suit. Based on what it is, I gain additional powers. When I was in my Egyptian form, I had the sand manipulation power and temple abilities. Or should I say temple domain ability. It allowed one to take a temple as a domain. Domains are powerful, and they cannot overlay with one another unless one is more powerful than the other. Overlaying a domain can easily destroy one, but based on the rank of the domain, it can only damage or fully destroy it. I have an easy domain as well as a normal domain. My normal domain is very simple. It's known as the housing. When activating it, it becomes more or less a barrier from the outside, and it's basically a closet on the inside of all these little suits and armors that I have in store. But I did not expect this enemy. His name was the Puppet Master. His friends before him killed my troops, one with the speed of light. I'm guessing you heard of this trick. It's where you do a really quick slash. Well, he can do that very easily. He killed many of my troops, but no harm. Most of them were weak anyways. Now, on the other hand, and there were a few others with a bit more annoyance to them. Like the Collector. His ability of stall was enough, but on top of that, he had a strong beast by his side. While it was fairly easy to defeat, I do feel his associate was even worse. He says he's a human, but he takes aspects of monsters. Monsters, even in the terms of a demon like ourselves. Those creatures have no mind, no soul. Just monsters, consuming and killing. Dragons are more knowledgeable than them. Us, as shadows, are more knowledgeable than them. We thought humans were the monsters. No, this creature was enough to destroy everything. It ripped everything into destruction. In the place we were, we had a grand wall. Very, very stable. And using my abilities, I stabilized it tenfold. But even then, he destroyed it like it was sandpaper. Turned it from stone to sand. What am I fighting? I didn't come to fight for this. What the heck are these people? But I answered that question when their leader came to greet me. His name was the Puppet Master, a danger indeed, but one with devilish power. The other troops just looked at me. They stopped fighting and just watched. I noticed after that the strings coming from their foreheads, hands and limbs. No wonder he called himself the Puppet Master. But that was fine. Most of my troops were already dead to begin with. What's a few troops that I have to kill myself? We can't even activate their abilities. How sad. Then, the dead rose back. Killing them was the hard part. You know, when you kill a golem of sorts, you go for the core. When you kill a human, you go for the head, maybe the heart, or poison them. Or maybe put them in a pool of acid. Only one of those would work on all of them, and that I didn't have on hand. Now, saying that I couldn't defeat them would be treachery, but I could. The only problem is, it wasn't easy. In doing so, I tired myself out. Taking away their oxygen, they don't need it. Taking away their heads, they don't need it. For some reason, their heads kept working without the bodies, and the bodies had strings of their own to move. It's annoying. Even without a full-on nervous system, they kept moving. How? This doesn't work. How are these creatures still alive? Now, defeating any other beast would have been pretty easy. There's a simple way of killing them, because they're alive. But when killing the undead, you can't. You can only go for the master. A necromancer's indeed powerful. The power to raise the dead is strong, but most have certain conditions to this. A high cost of energy output, maybe even 10 compared to the normal 1. But then the aspect that makes it very dangerous is the reason they can't be risen from the dead again, or that attacking their nervous system is a way of defeating them, as they can't move without it, making them useless. On the other hand, and you have these creatures puppeted by this puppet master. The fear in my eyes, and the ones in his associates. They didn't even know the extent of his power, yet they worked for him. The only one who laughed was, of course, the demon child. No, not a demon child, a monster. I say, a monster. But I digress. Even with such beasties, there's no way you can take on Me in my greatest armor, with its ultimate ability. You see, even if the armor is destroyed, it can be reformed again. And to damage the armor, I can just destroy one of the crystals on it. It would create an explosion, and the armor would regenerate. Easily one of the most powerful powers I've had. On the other hand, there's one thing that was truly devastating. When I lost control of my own body, for some reason I couldn't move, and I was gobbled alive. Luckily, I could get into my normal domain in time. I activated my easy domain inside of my normal domain. You see, a normal domain heightens the aspect of an easy domain, like a hard domain or the other domain. Whatever it was called, each one was more devastating than the last. Inside my closet, I tried to look for the cloak. This cloak gave me the power of a spellcasting kind of attribute, where I could cast minor cantrips and spells. Intriguing indeed. But the true power of it was the power to teleport. It got me out of danger, and using the hyperspeed domain that I had, I could look for it more easily. On top of that, the Domorphous power allowed me to create shadow hands around me. And because it was in my normal domain, I could search for it so much more easily. But by the time I found it, it was too late. While I had it, he had activated his hard domain. Well, a normal domain just covers a certain area. It doesn't add mass to it or anything. A hard domain is different. It takes up the same mass as your normal domain, but it goes much larger. While the space of the domain on the outside is small, when breaking in, you'll find that you're thousands of kilometers away. Not really. Only 12 in prospect, but it looked like it was going on for even more than 5 kilometers, which it did, but it looked like it was world-sized. And within this domain, he activated his easy domain. On top of that, thousands of swords. What the heck is it with this person? I thought they were a puppeteer, but not just that, they have swords. On top of that, these swords were Domorphous. Axe sword, sword, saber sword. 3 different katanas. They use the same method, but a short katana, a long katana, and a katana that didn't have a middle. Well, it did, but there was this edged line in it. For any other sword, it would instantly break it. They were very annoying to deal with, but please, with my powers, I could easily get out of this by teleporting away. I was harshly punished for this, demoted to a normal soldier. How dare they? But the armies of Shadow are much stronger, so my demotion only made it so I did a bit of grunt work. Nothing my Colossus form couldn't handle. But I still remember that monster, the Collector. I would give him a pat on the back for his capabilities, but the fear in his eyes. He knew that he couldn't defeat his leader. Seemingly, now, Prospect, working for him more intently. So yeah, this might have been a weird one. It's probably how I talk. Normally, in my other episodes, I really tell you how I get off track. But what I really want to do is world building. And I can't do that because, well, I'm a bad storyteller, okay? but there isn't a really chronological story to all these episodes, so you find the chronological storytelling kind of thing. So I will tell you this. They found the Green Flame Assassin, the Green Knight, if you want to call him that, after a lot of this. After the greed portion. I completely forgot to make a portion about what happened when he was in hell, but oh gosh, you'll be lucky to figure that out. And another 30-minute episode. Well, if you like this episode, hope you guys, always run my episodes on 2x speed, even if I talk fast. You'd rather want me to talk faster than watch the entire episode. Well, bye!